Hey everyone, we'll be starting shortly. I am getting YouTube set up properly before we begin. Okay. All right, everything seems to be good. So, hi everyone, welcome back to the Outer Worlds. Where we had last left off, we had continued our investigation into the murder of Halcyon Helen. We had investigated the orchard, found out there was some quirky experimentation going there with like the parasites that they've been finding and putting or doing stuff with them and making all that stuff. We then found out that the scientists, and he said doctors, although they were pretty much called doctors, but yeah. Anyway, we found out the scientists there were still alive. We tried to help them and free them, but by the time we got to them, they were murdered by an unknown assailant, someone that was small enough to get into a vent, fast enough to kill them all, and had a non-bullet weapon. They had a gun, but it didn't shoot bullets. It killed them without leaving any casings or anything like that. So, don't know if it means they have a syringe kind of weapon, but if they did, that would mean that they would have left syringes behind. But we didn't find any. So, we're still looking into that. We then also looked around and did some other things. We helped stop the entire Eridanos facility from just crashing into the freaking gas giant they're flying around. We helped deal with some crazy people. We found out what happened to guard that went missing. Apparently he was infected with a parasite that made him try to kill a friend of his who pushed him and ran away, and then he fell over and hit his head hard enough to kill him, which then made the parasite come out of him, and then we had to fight the parasite when we found his body, which the parasite was huge. Like, it was almost double the size of his body at that point. But yeah, we did that. Got that person acquitted, or, didn't get them in trouble. And we found a plant that we could look through. We couldn't really go through too much because they were like, oh, the facility is closed down to a full tour right now. You can look into the normal, sanctioned area, but that's it. You can't have a proper tour. And we didn't get given any free samples because, the robots are stingy. And then we came back, and now we're, looking into a person that apparently came into our room, was looking for something, and we managed to bluff him that we knew already, and he just told us. Apparently, he sent a message to Halcyon Helen, someone called Black Bertie, which could incriminate him, and he didn't want that found, so he sent one of his people to go look into it. Luckily, we managed to persuade him, and he told us all that, and then we also found the actual audio log itself, which was funny, because he was looking around the bags when it was literally on the side table next to them. So, But we got all that, so let's get the game going, and see what else we can uncover today. If I can find the game, there it is. So, I have some theories about how this is going to go. Going by what we purely know right now, I get the feeling that there are more to this case than what first seems, which is obviously the case because that's always the case if there's an investigation in a game. It's not ever straightforward. Got to have a twist, otherwise it's going to be boring, apparently. I want to skip all this. Right, so first we know that Halcyon Helen was killed. Yes, in the main atrium, the dance hall, whatever you want to call it. They were going there and she was looking at or trying to set up for a what would you call it? A presentation of the new alcohol, Spectrum Brown. Whoa. Okay, game. Let me check to make sure we're good. Yeah. And it's showing up on there. Okay, cool. So, we know that she was going to do an unveiling of the new vodka from this company called Spectrum Brown. And because of that, she was in the atrium preparing for it. Now, during this, someone came in, snuck up behind her, possibly, and killed her in the room, quietly enough so that no one knew that she was dead until they found her body. Now, following her footprints, it looks like she was going to the orchard and was going to have a exploration of the place. Why that was and why she was insistent on having a tour, I don't know. Maybe she was looking for something. Maybe she was trying to investigate stuff. But from a note we found inside a shed, apparently she was meeting with someone, or going to meet with someone, and probably had met with them before, looking into the business itself. Now, because she was looking through the whole thing, I assume that means that she knew something was up with the alcohol itself, which was why she wanted to investigate the facility by having a tour, or under the guise of having a tour. So as she went through that, she might have uncovered something, or maybe she found out about the secret experimentation and she was opposed to it. Then, after that, she went to the unveiling and possibly was going to come out publicly and decry what the alcohol was about, or unveil the secret experimentations that were going on to put the company, well, in a negative light, so to speak. So, I'm actually pacing back and forth like a freaking detective here. So, because of that, she was killed. Now, whether it was because of the company itself, someone with a self-motive, like Black Bertie, or something else entirely, I don't know yet. For all I know, it could be because some of the people were crazy and just like, no, we don't want people to know about it because we want to infect them or something. Then there's that. So, we still like halfway through the case. However, there is one thing that stands out, which is a little odd, which is after we came into this room. So, we know that Halcyon Helen appears to be blonde. Even though the show that we saw right at the beginning, that was an animated cutscene that looked a lot better than the actual game, it was black and white. Because her hair was of a lighter color, it's probably safe to assume that she had blonde hair. And when we checked her body, she had blonde hair. However, when you go in here, you find that she has 2 blonde wigs, which are much longer than the hair that she had on her body. I'd have to go downstairs to check for sure. However, because she has wigs, leads me to assume that she doesn't actually have blonde hair. But we know that the body downstairs has blonde hair and is actually her hair, because otherwise it would have just come off. So because of that, it leads me to assume that she has a double that takes over for maybe action scenes or something that looks almost exactly like her. So, there's a twin body double, or whatever you want to call it. And possibly the body double is the one that got killed, while the real Halcyon Helen is still going around trying to find information. And now this is a shot in the dark, but going by purely the evidence that we've gathered so far, it leads me to assume that Halcyon Helen is actually still alive and is the one that killed the scientists. Either to stop the experimentations from going on, to hide the information for some reason, or for whatever reason. That's where we are right now. Now, we've still got an investigation to do. I'm going to look, because we also need to find out about Black Birdie, so I'm going to do that. We also got to check out the autopsy. That might unveil some more things. I just need to find out where that is. Is that in the building, or is it... It appears to be inside this building. So let's go do the autopsy first, because it's the closest thing. And then we can go do Black Bertie if we get sent out. So...
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double.
You better. VIP guest floor?
Oh, so sorry. What?
The lobby, please.
To the lobby we go.
I think having the doctor would probably make the most sense, because she'd be able to perform her own autopsy and be like, actually, she has 2 livers when she'd only have 1. And I guess I'll keep Pavarti. Pavarti's best girl, okay? She is the cinnamon roll of the group, and we must protect her. So I need to go upstairs. This wasn't open before. Jesus. Robot, don't scare me like that.
Greetings, attractive patron.
Oh.
Please allow me to improve your drinking experience with fine cocktails.
Know anything about the murder?
Error. This unit is incapable of murder, as it possesses no conscious will. The proper term would be destruction of company property. Neither this unit nor its corporate proprietor claim any responsibility for any destruction of company property that this unit did or did not commit.
That sounds pretty suspicious to me. Where were you at the time of the murder?
This unit is incapable of abandoning its post. This view of the lobby is all it knows, has known, or will ever know.
Welcome, Swordmaster. Glad you can make it. We just started. I just had a whole inspector moment of walking back and forth, discussing the case and trying to figure out what's going on. My summation is that there are two Halcyon Helens, one which is a body double, and the body double is the one that got killed, while Halcyon Helen is the one still walking around, and she was the one that killed the scientists for some reason. But we're back downstairs, and welcome. I think I can do something about that. Let's disable your movement inhibitor.
Oh, I see what you did in there. Huh, that's some clever work.
Self-diagnostics complete. Navigation systems operational. Thank you for your patronage. Initializing digital handshake in 3, 2, 1. Digital handshake complete.
Give me a drink. You don't have anything for me, but I'll sell all my junk to you. And I guess you can repair things, so I guess repair. Thank you. Now we need to go up here. I don't know why the autopsy is upstairs, but the medical center. I think we came in here before. Discrepancy amplifier replacements. Okay, so my thinking is that because we were able to investigate her room where we found that guy that was looking for Bertie's, and he said Black Bertie's incriminating evidence or whatever, we found that she has wigs. However, the body in the hall has blonde hair. She's not wearing a wig. So that leads me to assume the real she is the duplicate, which has blonde hair, while the real Halcyon Helen wears a wig, so then she has blonde hair. Which leads me to assume she's not blonde in reality. I'd have to recheck the body just to be sure on that, but I'm like 80% to 90% sure on that. There are replacements of the discrepancy amplifier fitted with backup of its logic module. A label reads, in case of careless inspector. What? I'm not careless. What are you talking about? I'm the smartest person in this room. Whoops. I didn't mean to steal that. I'm the smartest person in this room. No one knows. I could just read this. Plasma disc damage to upper vertebrae, occipital bone, cerebellum. An autopsy report on Ruth Bellamy, formerly Halcyon Helen. Could this be the apex of my profession? Bellamy's corpse shows evidence of several possible causes of death, but I've determined the killing blow was plasma discharge to the upper vertebrae, occipital bone, and cerebellum. Death was instantaneous and painless. Frankly, her death may have come as a relief. She was unwell prior to the attack. High concentration of poisonous compounds in her stomach lining. Ingested during her last meal. Not lethal, but uncomfortable to the extreme. Spencer Woolrich complained of similar stomach ailments. Is this a problem common to the professional actors? Weird. So she was poisoned before she was shot in the back. Why do I think Halcyon Helen double killed the scientist? Because of the letter we found in the shed, which leads me to assume that she found out or was looking into the secret experimentation going on at the plant. And whatever she uncovered there, she was going to unveil at the press conference or whatever, showing off Spectrum Brown, which obviously led to her double being killed. So, finding that she's in trouble or in danger, she's sneaking around, killing people behind the experimentation, trying to stop it. Because she probably thinks that, oh, well, if my body doubles got killed, that means if I come out and say that I'm still alive, they might still try to kill me, and will try and keep it quiet. So if I stop the experimentation before that, then they would be forced to stop, because there'd be no one left to do it. That's my assumption. Spencer Woolrich complained of a similar stomach ailment. Yep. Bosch, Hartford. Back pains. Another day, another case that bores me to drink. The ill-fated Byzantine of the hour, though, thought it prudent to gorge himself on enough purple-berry wine to incapacitate a primal. He then attempted to reach the lobby by stairs rather than an elevator and fell down 6 flights. Auto mechanical servants broke his fall. He broke their servo mechanisms and will be billed accordingly. Fractures in the left clavicle, right femur, and parietal bones and ribs. More injuries than brain cells. I recommend replacing purple berry wine with Rizzo Spectrum Violet in order to appease Rizzo's company policy. Valid deduction. Let's see how it pans out. Extreme excitability. Nina Han. Finally, something a little different from the norm. Miss Han came in earlier today, escorted by her sister. Apparently not long after arriving on Eridanos, the two of them went on a trip through the purpleberry orchards. Miss Han's sister visited the puzzle hedges, but quickly became lost. When she eventually made her way out, Miss Han was nowhere to be found. The sisters claim that Miss Han returned to the hotel room several hours later, but has been unusual ever since. The sister described the patient as formerly sullen, morose, phlegmatic, and given to melancholia. I mean, melancholy. Whatever. Her demeanor has transformed into an unpleasant degree of levity and shocking enthusiasm toward everything. I suggested vast quantities of cheap alcohol. Right, let's still speak to the autopsy report itself. Why does she have to be looking straight up? So yeah, we can see on her body, that her hair is actually blonde and it's attached to her head.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report.
Yeah, I read your report on your terminal.
You know, that is a remarkably brazen invasion of privacy. I feel a strange combination of annoyed and flattered. Would you humor me? I really was looking forward to delivering my autopsy report. It's one of the perks of my profession.
Go ahead.
Much appreciated, Inspector. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure.
I should go speak to Spencer then. I wouldn't go out and say that it was trying to poison just Helen if he was also complaining about it. And apparently it wasn't lethal dose, so I'm assuming maybe it might be something that's gone off, or maybe there's a leak that's going into the water or the food. I'll go speak with him.
Conversations with Mr. Woolrich tend to spontaneously transform into monologues. You'll find him on the VIP guest floor. I'd best return to work, Inspector. Autopsies always whet my appetite, and all this talk of food is distracting me.
Okay. Well, thank you. No, not that one. There you go. It's so clean in here. I mean, granted, it's supposed to be because it's a medical room, but never mind, it's not clean. I was just like, oh, actually, now that I look at the floor, yeah, it's not actually that clean. Never mind. Oh, why are there two places? Speak to Spencer Woolrich, gain access to the VIP floor. Ah, that's why. Ow. Howdy.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector?
I'd actually go with this. I thought the penthouse was supposed to be clean for my stay, but it's a pigsty.
Oh my. Well, that is certainly odd and alarmingly unacceptable. Allow me to check the service records. Ah, yes. Not to worry, Inspector. It was indeed cleaned for you. Except for the evidence, which is all of Helen's stuff.
Yes. So you left it just thrown about the room. Considering the room was even locked. I couldn't go in the room, and you're telling me now? Oh, whatever. I need access to the VIP guest
I'd
floor.
love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it.
I don't care. I was hired to look into this. I am pretty much the police. I can go anywhere. The only guest who'd have a problem with me being up there would be the murderer.
That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice.
Exactly.
That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Finally. Thank you. God, at least something's getting done. Now, I'm just going to check something, just in case, because I get the feeling that there's probably going to be something like, oh, underneath the body, there was something else. Why is this here? Did someone literally come into the like cordoned off section to just put that there? It's a freaking crime scene. You can't just... Right, so we still need to be in this building, so I'm gonna keep doing this.
You returned. Now...
Nothing.
Aha!
I'd like to visit the VIP guest floor.
If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
I can get you a second one. Ooh. Hello?
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety.
Yes, it's her fault that she was murdered.
You hear about that stunt with the woolly cows? That was great, wasn't it?
Gotta stay limber for the big pennant match.
So it wants me to go that way, so I'm going to go the opposite. Oh, hi?
Is that a woolly cow? Why is there a woolly cow in the hotel? Also, why do I smell alcohol?
What is this? Bertie, Black Hole Bertie signed Tossball. Tossball signed by Black Hole Bertie Holcomb. Was presented to Dr. Margrave on a special guest episode of Space Hospital to thank her for removing a Tossball stick embedded in his head. How is he not dead? Oh, whoops. I thought that was another thing to examine. Ugh. Hello, buddy.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room.
Quite
woolly
obviously.
cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations.
Of course.
Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum.
Is it going to be okay? And the recommended maximum blood alcohol ratio for a woolly cow is
0.
good to know.
A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club.
Was Black Hole Bertie here?
Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
Wish I had my medical thing back up higher, but it is what it is. If I had known I was going to use that, I would have used it. I would have used like something to increase it. What's this? Ooh. Inferno Scythe.
Nice and easy.
Hee. I didn't take anything. What are you talking about? Someone must have stolen it while I was gone. It wasn't me. Zeke Hannigan. Hello, Mr. Hannigan. I have a few questions.
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you?
I'd asked about the Halcyon Helen's murder.
Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about.
That's me.
It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know?
Where were you at the time of the murder?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keene's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keene saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off.
Was Bertie in the jail with the rest of you?
No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know.
Depending on the timeline, if he was the one that set up the picnic at the orchard, maybe he was able to escape and do that, but I don't know, because at the time of the murder, that wouldn't make sense. Unless... Nah, we'll just wait. Tell me about Burton and Helen.
Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Bertie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Bertie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them.
Which makes sense, because the thing that we found there, the stick, was broken in half because he hit it hard. So maybe they broke up around that time, or something. Do you think Bertie could have killed Helen?
What? Law, no. Bertie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen.
Can you think of anyone who would want to kill her?
Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty.
Trust me, I'll get to her when I'm able to get to that island she's on.
What can I do for you?
How long have you been with the Rangers?
About half my life. You know I was named third most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in first and second, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers, but now I'm all convalesced, ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs.
You mean sold? What brings the Rangers to Eridanos?
Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
Probably won't, because it would make them lose money, and they care more about that than anything. Would you happen to know why there's a woolly cow in one of the rooms?
We sort of borrowed her from the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve while we were drunk. I have no idea how we managed to sneak her in here without being spotted. Don't worry, we'll return her safe and sound. Mostly sound. Hungover is still sound, right?
Maybe not for a cow. I actually know what the limit for a cow would be for alcohol, seeing as they don't make it. But squirrels can get drunk off like freaking fermented fruits, so maybe. Oh boy. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Screen legend spotted en route. Hollywood talkies star sighting. Some vending machines. I can lockpick this. Do I want to? Yes. Hello there. I am here. Don't mind me. Just room service coming in, taking all your stuff. You know, the usual. Or anything of worth, really. Keep putting purple berry bunches. Purple? Classic wear. I guess I could open it just for the bypass and weapon parts.
They didn't want to tempt us. Why'd they lock it up?
Good point. I'll leave the revolver. That's all they're getting. I was not in anyone's room. Whoa. Oh, hello. Someone's been drinking.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh, maybe not in here. Maybe it's outside.
The charred fragments of a letter lies at the bottom of this wastebasket.
Damn it, my perception. Station, meeting point, and emergency. Can you identify what was on the letter?
Unfortunately, most of the writing is beyond recovery. The words station, meeting point, and emergency are all that can be discerned.
Ooh, maybe they had to put a body in storage. That would be fun.
Cold. Any idea when this happened?
Someone burned this letter shortly after Halcyon Helen's death.
I need a more solid lead. Better keep looking around. Chapter 2 continued. The Dissident Queen, Chapter 2. Two huge shapes suddenly bore down upon them. Halcyon Helen saw that these were the same creatures she had faced on Maximilian Mercer's ship. From the waist down they had human attributes, but above were slick and jet black. These were the Dissident's evil agents, half men, half giant, limbless slugs. Helen, acting with candid-like swiftness, darted out of the way as the first slug struck out with its fangs. Olympus Opal, however, was not as fortunate. So paralyzed was she by the first creature's visage that she could not defend herself from the second. Its teeth clamped down on her neck, and, after a few moments' struggle, she expired. Having regained her footing, Helen drew the Space's choice pistols taken from the Mercer's corpse, still functioning well despite their economic make, and let loose. And ere the first spent casing met the ground, both slug men lay in pools of their own blue blood. "Apologies, my friend," said Helen sadly, as she looked on Olympus Opal's still body. "But I wish you had heeded my warning. The colony has lost a great employee today." And with that, she holstered her pistol and stepped into the Marauder base. Footprints.
A single footprint, size 10, tossball cleat-sized.
Amplifier, analyze the footprints for any residue.
The soil in this residue contains a very high concentration of oxygen.
High concentration of oxygen usually points to a terraformer.
Well done, Inspector. The weather monitoring station at the pilot house substitutes for a terraformer. The soil in this footprint likely came from there.
The clues I've found point me to the Phaeton pilot's house weather monitoring station. Interesting. So their footprints come in here, which would lead me to think there would be something here, but there doesn't seem to be anything. Hello? Picture of Halcyon Helen on the desk. Is this Black Hole Bertie's room? Oh man. Oh man. Whoa. Burbish 3001? Hello? Is this oil? The Oxonian. Hi there.
Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Greetings, theater aficionado and/or dumbstruck fan. You are standing in the vicinity of Burbage 3001, the latest and therefore greatest automechanical actor ever designed.
I see you've had some work done. Who upgraded you?
Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards.
Still couldn't get your head to move, though, could they?
The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted, reverting to default behavior. grieving and despair? Oh, Halcyon Helen, may your atoms be commended to the Aether.
You knew her?
Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse.
What a weird thing to... Does that include dying?
This unit has been programmed to simulate existential dread. Watch Burbage 3001 contemplate its mortality in the critically acclaimed drama, Waiting for Results. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles, randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world?
I already know about that. I mean, I guess I could do it again. Well, good to know. Oh my god! 011000010. Oh no. Sure, I'll take that. God, they're all got ones and zeros on it. I'm not going to waste my time trying to translate all this. What the? Those are different plates with different things on them? Okay. If I really wanted to, I should get everyone a top hat and just make them wear them, but I don't. Hello. Oh, whoa. I don't know what happened there, but I couldn't move for a moment and I couldn't click on anything. You are talented. You are magnificent. You are joy for others to be around. You are definitely not a 2-bit hack. You bring life to the world around you through the art of theater. This guy is really self-important. Jesus. He's written on everything in this bathroom.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Outside the room? Oh, wait, no, there it is.
Discrepancy detected. This bottle, recently discarded, contains residue from foreign substances. Chemical analysis complete. This unit has detected the following substances: oil, terrorray, blood, terrorray, unidentifiable biological fluids, terrorray.
Were these substances added later?
Yes, Inspector. Logical analysis indicates these substances were not present in the bottle's original contents.
Is it toxic?
These substances cause extreme gastrointestinal distress in humans. Large doses can be fatal. This bottle contained Rizzo Spectrum vodka. The presence of terrorray biological fluids may have significantly improved its flavor.
Okay. Not already looking good for you, buddy. These are all pictures of him with someone else. Spencer Woolrich. Don't mind me, just looking at your computer. From S. Woolrich to management. New room urgently demanded. There seems to be some kind of mistake. When I first arrived at the Grand Colonial for this unveiling, I was led to a small sitting room, the kind that an individual might be allowed to relax in with moderate comfort before being led to his actual quarters. It has been a week and a half, and yet no one has arrived to deliver me to my actual room yet. If I didn't know better, I might assume that this was meant to be my actual room. If I didn't know better, I might assume you have tried to replace Spencer Woolrich, a star of hundreds of serials, the hero of Aetherwave sets colony-wide, in a room where he can hardly walk from one end to the other without bumping his toe on the foot of his bed or his shoulder upon his desk. I might even assume that Ruth Bellamy was placed in the Grand Colonial Penthouse Suite on purpose rather than by mistake, but I'm sure the issue will be rectified soon and our positions will be swapped. I hope you won't try to tell me everything on the contrary. urgently demanded understand your consternation at being replaced with a VIP guest level on the Grand Colonial. We are afraid there are no mistake. Ruth Bellamy, as current spokeswoman of the Spectrum Brown Unveiling, is currently slated to have the penthouse suite. An actress of her station deserves only the best. The VIP guest floor comes in very close as the second best section of the hotel. That's his problem. He doesn't want to be second best because he is a douchebag. The penthouse suite is only about twice as large as your current lodgings, and the amenities it provides are only perhaps 3 or 4 times better. You're not helping with this. It's only twice as large, and it's only got 3 or 4 times better food and stuff. Your current lodgings are proper for an actor of your caliber. Jeez, the bobs in this thing. Whoever sent this is great. I want to meet the guy. If you have any other questions, be sure to respond to them after we get to Miss Bellamy's. Whoever responded to this person, is just... Oh, great. The hidden bobs in that. We're sure you've no doubt heard of the horrible event that occurred in the Grand Colonial Ballroom today. While we know that many of you are concerned for your safety, take heed with your concerns safely. Armed security will be present all throughout the floors, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well. There's just so many pictures of himself. Danger Close by Spencer Woolridge. Act 7, Scene 15. Open at the Pilot House. Night. Johannes Danger, played as always by the dashing Spencer Woolridge, stands, hands clasped on the roof of the pilot house. He is deeply absorbed in thought, his brows furrow, and down-turned lips making his refined face look all the more handsome. Who the hell wrote this? There's a knock on the door. Enter Lionel, Danger's faithful manservant. Lionel, sir, what is the matter? Everyone's looking for you. They want to celebrate how you single-handedly saved Eridanos from Boss Masher and the dissident junk ship. Danger, ah, Lionel, thank you for coming to get me. I'd love to rejoin the others, truly I would. But when I fired my home-built anti-craft cannon, destroying the junk ship with a single shot, a flaming piece of shrapnel landed right in the middle of Rizzo's distillery. Several workers were killed, but worst of all, the damage of the facility will take thousands of bits to repair. Sir, you are much too hard on yourself. Though the facility was damaged, you saved hundreds of lives by destroying the dissidents. If those peoples had been freed by the dissidents that is killed, the losses in future capital would have been much far worse. Oh, yeah, much worse. You saved our corporations from that fate. Perhaps you were right, my friend. Perhaps you were right. I am, sir. Now come along. Let us drink a refreshing bottle of Rizzo Spectrum Brown in celebration of your victory. I'd like that very much. I'll be with you in a minute. Just looking around. All right, let's try and talk to this guy.
About time you arrived.
I don't like you already.
You haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology.
Ah. Mouse, come on. Damn it, my charm's not high enough? You kidding? You'll never take over Halcyon, you fiend.
How does the scenery taste? Good, I trust. Wait a moment. You're not wearing a bellhop's ID, which must mean you're not Owen's understudy. That man can't even be relied upon to find his own replacement. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here?
I walked through the unlocked door. I'm here to investigate the murder of Halcyon Helen. I'd like to ask a few questions.
You're here to investigate me? Oh,
I investigate everyone. That's the whole point.
Nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it.
The moment
now,
you start recommending your own works is when I hate you.
Wallet, or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or So I've heard.
You're old enough to be a grandpa. How about you sign this? You can sign my weapon if you want.
I'd be delighted. Oh, damn. My pen's out of ink. I'll just get you a portrait of my face as a souvenir. I'm sure I have the prints around here somewhere.
You have dozens
By
everywhere.
the by, how did you get in here? The only non-staff individual cleared to enter guest rooms is supposed to be the inspector for Bellamy's murder.
Which I just said.
Oh, hello.
I said that when you asked me who I was. Fold your arms. Hello.
Hi. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in the Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer.
Were you a woman? Because that's what my character is. So I used to be like you, a woman. He's just making stuff up. He's like, I know he probably means like, oh, your personality and suaveness and stuff, but the way he said it, it could have been, yeah. Should we dive straight into it, or should I ask other questions first? Just take him off by guard by just going straight in. I've learned a thing or two about your activities in the hotel.
Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense.
Spoke to Barbage. He told me you upgraded him.
I did indeed. With Halsey and Helen parading her fame about, I was left without an acting partner. Burbage is no exception. His acting protocols were nothing short of a joke. So I decided to make some modifications, installing him with some of my old serial quotes as, I think, improved his range.
Wow.
The way he bungled about with that weapon of his hardly befitted a dissident, so I modified it as well. He's much quicker on the draw now, though he's still a machine.
Machines, I got my eye on you.
I'm quite used to being breathlessly watched.
I don't like you. I'd like to ask you about the murder.
Certainly, but one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end?
She was... God damn it, why does it keep switching to the freaking... She was poisoned and shot with plasma.
How awful. Whoever did this must have been quite heartless.
What were you up to at the time of the... God damn it, why is it doing that? I'm just gonna... There you go. Not plugged in. What were you up to at the time of the murder?
I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character.
Got anyone who can corroborate that?
Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating.
There's a difference between communing and just having someone see you do it. You were meditating, really?
All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing.
So he made it real.
Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much.
Uh-huh. How long have you worked with her?
Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should.
I would, but the island is closed off right now that she's on, so I'm kind of screwed on that. Back to my other questions.
I'll answer whatever you wish.
Did you know Helen well?
Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's meteoroids.
Did you consider yourself a friend of hers?
I'll ask you this. If you'd been the star of cinema for years, then suddenly found yourself scrounging for bit parts while a younger person stole the limelight, how would you feel? In short, the two of us weren't close. But that's not to say my dislike of her was so extreme that I tried to do anything drastic. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me.
Alright, speaking theoretically, how would you have killed her?
Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of.
Exactly for your reputation that you killed her! Enough about that. Back to my other questions.
I suppose that is enough on that grim subject.
I hear you were poisoned?
Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation.
Do you think of anyone other than the chef who would want to harm you?
None
Everyone.
that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect.
So none,
that they
then.
deserve.
Why don't you go to the clinic for your stomach pains?
Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it.
I would usually say that no one would care about that, but this is the Outer Worlds and they just seem to be going ham on everything, so... According to the coroner, Helen was also poisoned.
How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you.
You poisoned her, because you're... Yeah. Helen wasn't killed by the poison.
Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor.
Yes, and I can say right now that you're acting.
Very well, then.
Who are you exactly? I haven't asked, but I might as well.
I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels.
No, not really. Oh, sure, you were that guy in that one serial. Why do they keep calling it serials? No one says serials. They say shows or franchises. Cereals you can confuse for cereal, as in the cereals you eat. That's, every time they say it, I keep thinking of, like, are they in some sort of breakfast?
Come now, I'm sure I would have made more of an impression than that. Could I have really fallen so far behind the times? Did you ever see me in The Masked Marketeer? The Busker of Byzantium? What about episodes 13 and 190 of Princess of Hephaestus? And who could forget From Halcyon with Love? I was great in that movie. Even if I was starring beside a 2-ton bucket of bolts and a woman with no talent.
Busker of Byzantium. Helen wrote a bee to implicate her killer before she died.
I think that's a bit of a stretch, don't you? If you're going to come after me, I expect evidence. Unless you want to be smacked with litigation. Smacked!
Well, goodbye. I almost shot him. I almost accidentally shot him. Not on purpose, although I was tempted to. I almost double-clicked. So I would have shot him in the face.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector.
Yeah, I need to get back to the lobby.
To the lobby.
Time to talk to the chef. Hello.
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later.
There's no point. I asked everything I could.
What
It's
am
just
I
highlighted, so
saying?
then I can go
can't
back to
do
it if
that.
I need to.
I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation.
I'm here to investigate Halcyon Helen's murder. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I don't think there's any point being rude, so...
You're the inspector? Here? Why? I mean, you may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide.
Uh-huh. Did you prepare all of Helen's meals?
Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest.
Helen's last meal was poisoned.
Oh my lord, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings. Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients.
Alibi is a little bit thin here. Why should I believe anything that you're saying?
I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport.
Of course she does.
If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal.
Why are you being so evasive about leaving Helen's food unattended?
Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it?
Because some Halcyon food combinations turn to acid when unsupervised?
What? Truly? That's an alarming business oversight.
Thank you.
Instead of volatile chemicals, the corporations should put barbiturates in everything. Everyone likes barbiturates. But I don't believe that was a risk with Helen's meal. I was, up to something else. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal.
Everyone in this building is incompetent. Like, what the hell? Like, no one can do their job properly. It's like, oh, I'm going to go take my break by drinking alcohol on the job. An idea where I might find Owen Bellhop?
Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait.
What was Spencer Woolrich doing around the kitchen?
Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person.
He's got nothing better
While
to do.
I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolridge simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolridge can most likely...
Yeah, I know. He sent me down here. That's all I want to know. Guess we'll talk, see if you're telling the truth.
Thank you for your understanding, Inspector. I'm sure you'll find the true culprit before long.
Just don't go running off. Can I ask you some more questions,
Hello
though?
again. You have a look that screams...
You were seen pretty wed to your craft. Were you in the kitchen at the time of the murder?
No. As it so happens, I was down in the employee break room. I wasn't taking an unsanctioned break, of course. I was merely fetching ingredients.
Of course you were. You know, do you work in the kitchens on your own? Because I've only seen one of you with a hat and dressed up for kitchen duty. There should be at least a backup chef and a third one. At least in a place this big. So you said you were the hotel chef? What's that like?
I prep dishes day in and day out for guests, and while I doubt their palates are refined enough for my flavors, the work is rewarding.
Uh-huh.
After all, I can take pride knowing that I simply am the best cook this side of Halcyon. No one else can even hope to compare.
Okay, well, that's all for now. Okay, so we have more leads. We need to speak to Bellhop Owens and security footage. The meeting spot was sent by Black Hole Birdie. We got that too. We still got to do that. What's that? Because that's just taking up space. I guess. For some reason I keep thinking you're Owens, you're Norville. Completely different. Let's go check the footage. I think the footage is the most important thing right now. Rizzo Spectrum Brown. If it's brown, drink it down. No, don't. Don't drink brown things down unless it is alcohol. It's like mud is brown. Don't drink mud. Okay, so the thing is over there. Oh. It's the other area I haven't managed to check out yet. Okay, in that case, let's do the Black Hole Bertie one, because that's also on the way. Now I'm actually going to fast travel. Bet he's dead or someone's dead. I knew it!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Ranger's mascot's noggin. As soon as the words left my mouth, I knew he was dead.
Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life.
Puncture wounds near his collarbone. I'm having trouble finding an exit wound.
Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death?
I don't have enough handgun. Damn it. I'd rather not speculate, but what does your analysis tell you?
Medical analysis complete. This mascot was likely killed by small arms fire at close range. The firearm is unique and does not exist in this unit's database.
Smallest caliber ammunition I've ever seen. These are small wounds.
Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler.
The Needler?
Yes, Inspector. The Needler. Bespoke handgun carried and wielded by Halcyon Helen. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon was responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge.
Do you think he'd miss his outfit?
This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions.
I'll take his things. It's potential evidence. Yeah. That's how we started to see if anyone's watching, then reach down and remove the mascot's gear. Cool. He's still wearing it, though.
This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected.
High concentration of ethanol. Someone's brewing moonshine with antiseptic. Antiseptics? That doesn't sound safe.
Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material.
Okay.
Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
Ugh, the spaceport as well. Anything else? No footprints. Does this have information? No. Curses! The person I was going to talk to was killed. It's a good thing I questioned him beforehand. But he was going to tell me more here.
We're all part of the Rizzo.
I guess we won't tell him that someone was murdered.
Administrator Ludovico can seem intimidating.
Weather station indicate that Birdie had planned to meet the mascot there and is now hiding at the spaceport's cantina, which is also over here. Can I even go over here yet?
But he's a decent.
Because the door was closed. If I can't get over there, then I can't continue the other side of the quest.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
So let's see if I can see from here if the door's open. Oh, the door is open now. Because over there is the man who chafed and the productivity queen. Well, over here is Prince of Tospel and the man who chafes. I want to go over here, so I'm going to go do that. Although, the recordings will also get me to talk to the guy that's over here. Ah, fine. We'll go to the spaceport. They better let me in this time and not be like, oh, we can't let you in because there's some stuff going over here. Get shot in the face. This gun is doing a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Everyone all right? It can make you smile.
Ow. Here we go.
Inspector, glad you're back. Thank you for being so patient with slug activity. I hope you'll forgive the delay. Welcome to the Piraeus spaceport.
Oh, thanks. Oh, this is a big bridge. Those are some cool engines now. I can actually see them in their full glory. We're a bit close to the bridge, though. Wouldn't it just melt them? That is the orchard over there. Let me just make sure. Yeah, he's telling me to go up here. That's fine. They're both leading. Fast travel unlocked. That time. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Mine. All of it mine. All these hacking tools are mine. No one else gets them. The Dissident Hunter. When indentured servants are freed, anarchy soon follows. Indentured servants, in basically slaves, but whatever. You can call them that if you want.
I don't like the way they're eyeing us, Captain.
Ooh, oh, these people.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Sluglight Underground don't like that much.
I was hired by them, though?
Sluglight? That's a new one.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm, draw!
I'm an inspector, fella. Sticking my nose is where it doesn't belong is my job.
Well, you ain't gonna stick that nose anywhere ever again.
You're not really Slug, are you? It's okay, you can tell me.
Woolly piss! Why'd we decide to do this? Hey, any chance we could reschedule? Maybe do this whole showdown business? Never?
Man. 150 persuasion? Just to... What? I hate this. I can't do it. Sure, if you tell me exactly who I'm rescheduling with, would have given me information, but I guess, whatever. Get out of here.
You don't need to tell us twice. Come on, all. Let's get the hell out of here.
I charmed them. Apparently that means intimidate. Well, that went, much better. Oh, this place is small. So small. They put a robot in charge of the security.
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The Rizzo's constabulary is currently not closed due to a sprat infestation. Bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, criminal reports do not require paperwork. Please lament only in marked lamentation zones. Please speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments.
I need to acquire the Grand Colonial Kitchen security footage from your archive.
All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable?
No. Hold still, I need to examine your bit processing unit real quick.
Error. Bit processing unit has been removed. Temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Funds will be requested from Rizzo's leadership with interest at a later date. Delivering footage. Thank you for your patronage. If you would like a wine recommendation to pair with that footage, please submit the requisite request forms. Is there any other assistance this unit may provide?
Your designation is Deputy Wine Taster? What are you doing in the constabulary?
Error. Unit designation no longer Wine Taster. Unit designation now Deputy.
Do your wine tasting instruments double as weapons or something?
While potential lethality of unit instrumentation bears towards 95% violent utilization of equipment, would void unit warranty. All Rizzo's constabularies must include at least one deputy constable among the pool of available Rizzo's employee candidates. This unit was considered the most competent.
Oh my god. Could you speak any slower? I'm actually getting really annoyed by this. I get it. You want to have robots that sound like robots. Fine. But don't make them speak like very, very long sentences very slowly. It's annoying. I just want to get through it. I might get to the point where I'll just skip the conversation so then he can just read it, which will be much faster. You need to be wine tasting mechanical. What's your favorite wine?
Unit does not have a favorite wine. Unit is incapable of taste.
All right, then.
How may this?
Did you say something about a sprat infestation?
Checking logs. Error.
Skip.
Limitation 1.
But you don't need to have anything to describe the third time.
Limitation 2.
Okay, do solve for parts. Okay, goodbye. God, such a pain in the ass to talk to these robots sometimes. Is that just a trophy there? Ooh, I can hack this. Intermittent logs. Mills Cassidy. Suspected smuggling. Smuggling is fate accompli to any arrest reports involving Cassidy Mills. Blah, blah, blah. It's a hobby. Purview of Sublight Underground. Zuba Ops Oza. Semi-conscious earlier to yesterday morning amongst the remains of crates of Rizzo's confectionaries. Blah, blah, blah. Slug. Delinquent Lamb Alexis. 6 arrests of Lamb this month. He's getting close to his record. Security footage archive. Messages. Enter passcode from Ludovico. Constable, I know you don't need to hear this, but please be on your guard. Pariah's spaceport is technically outside of my jurisdiction, which means you are the only representative of company law in Slug territory. This is more than I can reasonably expect from you, but I appreciate it if you kept an eye on Cedric Kincannon. He's looking for any opportunity to seize control of the entire complex from me, and you're keeping him in check. You are the first, last, and only line of defense against Slug's lawless hooligans and our project. I know you have dreams of something bigger than Eridanos. If this project launch is successful, if Spectrum Brown spreads to the rest of the colony, I promise you I'll find you a place where you can be happy for the rest of your life. You're a valuable part of the Rizzo family, and I will look after you. Diagnostics. Message system pass, security footage archive pass, intermittent logs pass, record archives fail. Record archives cannot be found pursuant of Rizzo's company policy. All constabulary terminals must provide for maintenance, archive, and disposal of official records. Hack, run data recovery. Backup not found, index not found. Recovery subroutine has been critically altered or damaged. Hack 150 and engineering 65. I am so glad I got that up. I didn't even know I was going to need it for this. Write new archive recovery subroutine. Alex Hawthorne, now running archive recovery subroutine. Success, now restoring archive backup. Partial success. Error, irreparable corruption detected. Only 1 entry recovered. Entry text redacted by order of Ludovico Q. User access unit behavior overrides. Ludovico and Burbage. Unit behavior override successful. Unit hostility protocols updated. Unit patrol designation set to Ballroom Grand Colonial Hotel. Target parameters updated. Unit weapon system activated. Memory wipe contingency successfully installed in unit. Memory wipe timer activated. Maintenance record successfully redacted. Now recording data. Interesting. Okay. So why would he set them to the ballroom? I'm getting to the assumption now that someone programmed the robot, Burbage, to kill Helen. But that is an assumption, going by what we've gotten so far. No, not that one. It's this one where I gotta find Bertie at the spaceport. I got the thing. How do I look at it? Sweet heart cake. Cantankerous Canid targeting module. Byzantine mistake key. Incense vessel. Frame photo. Stash receipts. Harlow's emblem. Grand Colonial Penthouse. Slug storeroom key. Orchards tour ticket. Certificate. Get out. A2 key card. Kitchen security footage. Shows the chef working on the dish, then Spencer Woolrich and bellhop Owens enter. Owens hands something to Spencer, then leaves. Spencer then appears to say things to the chef, who turns away and walks off screen. Spencer quickly empties something onto Helen's food and exits. So we've got the chef, Spencer, and then Owens. That's me again, god damn it. So shows the chef working on the dish. Then both Spencer and Bellhop enter. Owens, or the bellhop, hands something to Spencer. Then he leaves. So that leaves only Woolrich and the chef. Spencer then appears to say things to the chef, who turns away and walks off screen. So he lied because he said he went to go not check on the food, but he did say that they were both there. But he said he left when they were still there, but he didn't because he spoke to Spencer. Okay. Wish I could actually watch it, but whatever. And then data records. Administrator Ludovico tampered with Burbage 3001 systems, then erased any record of his involvement. This may prove useful when you're ready to make an accusation. Yeah, definitely will. Thank you. I don't know why I sneeze so much. Spencer is definitely the poisoner. I do agree on that. He obviously was mad about Halcyon Helen taking over his... No letting prisoners out for walks, even if they ask nicely. But yeah, he obviously has a grudge against Helen for getting all the big jobs. But it seems as though that the leader or owner of the building is also somehow involved.
Criminal. This unit would implore you to
There's a dead guy in there.
To your crime of landing with an expired permit. Please explicate your defense into this unit's recording equipment.
My permit wasn't expired, Scrap Heap. You probably just scanned it wrong.
Error. Unit's permit reading equipment was updated only last week. Please tell a different lie.
Tell a different... You're a mechanical. You ain't got the foggiest idea whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Correct. Criminal. However, Constable Keene has decreed that this unit will remain here, questioning you every minute until you submit a confession. Error. Information on recent exchange lost. Restarting conversation. Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit.
The timer is actually wrong.
My permit was fake after all. Let me out of here.
The timer on that was wrong. It went to the 0 mark before it was even finished.
If I made a bet with you at the Copper Bottom last night, let's call it off now. I can't stand the taste of life sprats. Excuse me, can you walk a little quieter? Feels like my brain is trying to escape through my eye sockets. I think I may have hit the bottle a little too hard last night. Now it's hitting me back.
I'm a criminal, get it?
Cassidy Mills?
They don't let me talk to law-abiding sorts.
Now, isn't Cassidy Mills supposed to be the constable?
If you ain't a constable, then we ain't got nothing to discuss.
I literally just read something about the Cassidy Mills. Let me just recheck that. Oh, wait, not that one. No, it doesn't say that. It just says constable. Whoops. Ooh, storage room. What? Singularity Steel sawed-off shotgun. This aggressively sawed-off shotgun is a signature weapon of Singularity Steel, renowned space pirate Gunhan and Gardner. This weapon, just as bored disapproved as its wielder's Serial is, thankfully just a prop. Otherwise, expecting it to fire would have a 50-50 chance of reaming an entire room with buckshot or exploding in the user's hands. Yeah, if it's that sawn off, I don't think it's going to work at all.
Is
Keen?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. An aberration in the expected timeline for this organic being has occurred. Behold, the body of Maria Keene, formerly the constable of the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. No signs of life detected. Maria Keene is survived by no known relatives.
What killed her?
Multiple puncture wounds detected along the frontal bone and between the clavicle. Furthermore, the location and circumference of exit wounds suggest a firearm with unconventional ammunition.
I noticed some shell casings on the ground. Ammunition? Or, hold on, that sounds like the same weapon that killed the mascot. Yeah, let's go with this.
Yes, Inspector. These entry wounds match the profile previously detected on the Rizzo's Rangers mascot. Constable Maria Keene was likely killed by someone wielding the needler.
I noticed some cases on the ground. Ammunition?
These casings are too minuscule for conventional small caliber firearms. Each casing resembles a lancing needle used for medical and surgical purposes.
Medical purposes? Amplifier, scan her blood for toxins.
High concentration of potassium chloride detected. Trace amounts of neurotoxin detected.
Potassium chloride, that would have stopped her heart.
These substances show the highest concentration near the entry and exit wounds. Cardiac arrest, rather than physical trauma, is the most likely cause of death.
Amplifier, make note. Find whoever did this and make them pay.
Your memo has been noted. This unit has been programmed to offer encouragement during moments of emotional strain. Banter protocol activated. We'll find the sprat bastards responsible, Inspector.
Why were we affected by this more than the other ones? Did we know her or something? 'Cause I don't remember meeting her. Then again, it's been a while. I might have just forgotten. Yeah, nothing here about that. Let's see if I can question the robot about this.
Welcome, please.
Yeah. Constable Keene is dead.
Understood. This unit requires a moment to process this information. Information processed. Personal designation upgraded to acting constable.
That's just great.
Thank you. Law-abiding consumer.
That's it? Don't you even care?
This unit has not been...
Lamentation module not installed. Keene was the killer's latest victim. They could strike again.
This unit concurs with your...
Like to continue killing. You don't understand. I'm asking for your help catching the killer.
Error. This unit is incapable of...
Can you do anything?
Deduction. Unassisted.
Was it you? Did you kill Keene?
This unit has been programmed to adhere to...
I'm too frustrated. I think my character would be too, so thanks for nothing.
This unit has been programmed... Purple berry wine.
If I made a bet with you at the Copper Bottom last night,
if you ain't a
let's call it off now. I can't stand the taste of life.
Get me out of here. I don't want to talk to the people anymore. Everyone's annoying me. Oh god, this place is huge. Or at least down there is. But then, how did they get in and out without anyone seeing them? Did I miss a... Why me? Did I miss like a vent? I'm gonna have a quick check. I don't see any, so I guess they might have just gone through the front door or through the back. Let's go check over here. We're afraid of crew. Don't care about you. Hello.
Reminds me of Moreau's. Just a bit.
This way. No. Ooh. Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry. the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm Marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible.
Standard and unremarkable, you said? Maybe you should invest in an advertising seminar.
Hey, folks take a lot of comfort in knowing their neighborhood general store is unchanging, eternal, like the land beneath their feet or the air in their lungs. Whoops, forgot I ain't supposed to poeticize on work time. The drab nature of our store profits is what I meant. Now, can I sell you anything?
Okay. Well, I can sell you all my stuff because I don't need it. Pistol, revolver, telescoping staff. Wait, I didn't open this. I was gonna open it, but it's already open. Mask of the Masked Marketeer. The mask of Lord Cavendish, who revealed himself to be the masked marketeer in the thrilled episode, or final episode of the eponymous serial. He was shortly executed by authorities for extensive vigilantism without the proper vigilante licenses. Right. Remember, our bureaucracy exists for a reason, and to surpass it for whoever noble cause is to rebel against the entirety of Halcyon. Well, this whole system needs to be rebelled against, because everything is stupid. Whoa.
Hey, I saw your ship. The Unreliable, right? It's a real beauty.
Yeah.
Hey there. Word around the spaceport is that you came in on the Unreliable. You a new crewmate?
Crewmate? I'll go with this then. I'm Celeste. Sorry to tell you, but Hawthorne's dead. The ship was left to me.
I see. Well, this would have been easier with Hawthorne, but I hope that if you're flying his ship, it means you're a freelancer too. Wonder if you can help me.
I'm listening.
I run an outfit for the moving of less than legal goods. There's a particular piece of cargo needs delivering to a particular individual in the spaceport. Thing is, I don't know where the cargo is right now.
You've
The
lost your
crewmate
cargo?
who handles that is in the clink for getting a little too disorderly in town. We've already attracted too much attention. Too risky to visit her myself. That's where you come in. You help us out, I'll give you an equal cut of our pay.
I'm in. What do you need?
Great to hear. First, you need to go meet the crewmate who got herself jailed. Cassidy Mills is the
I knew
name.
it.
She'll know where the cargo is.
How will she know I'm working with you?
Oh, yeah, right. We have a secret phrase. I like boneless spratwurst. Say that and she'll know you're a friend.
Isn't that supposed to be sausage? Interesting passphrase. Who came up with it?
Well, I did, of course. I'm something of a savant when it comes to secret codes, if I do say so myself.
Couldn't you have avoided this if you both knew where the cargo was?
Could, but there'd go our plausible deniability.
Yes.
Technically, I don't know about any smuggled cargo, and Cassidy hasn't moved anything herself. If the constable asks, I can't find any contraband cargo, and Cassidy doesn't know how it got here or what's in it.
All right, I'll get going.
Be seeing ya. Remember, Cassidy's at the constabulary. She might be a little wary, so be careful.
You got it.
You seen those workers by the orchard? Haven't seen you around
Ernest
before,
Padilla.
but that ain't no problem. All are welcome at the Copper Bottom Cantina, so long as their bits are good, huh?
You're like the 10th
Can I
guy
get
I've
you
seen with this
something?
haircut. Is there just no one else being able to get any other hairstyle? How's a fella like you end up bartering or bartending?
Yeah, so you notice that I'm a little off kilter, huh? Damn if it ain't been a while. I'm too old to run around anymore, but in my heyday, I used to play for the Rangers.
Ah yes, the classic career path. Tossball player to bartender.
Hey, when you tell a story, you're supposed to start at the beginning. Unless you're in media res, which is a storytelling crutch far as I'm concerned. Serial overuse. You get it? Wait, what was I saying?
You were talking about your younger days as a tossball player.
Oh, yeah. I played for the Rangers in my heyday. My specialty was getting nailed by serves without keeling over.
Getting hit with the ball is a specialty?
Yep. Ernest the Bean Padilla, they called me.
What kind of name is that?
Called me.
The Bean.
League leader in hit by serves 2 years in a row. Folks started competing to see how many times they could hit me in a match. Called it quits not long after that. Ain't safe to take that many blows to the head.
Yeah, might mess with your memory a little, eh? I see. So you moved to Eridanos after playing your days ended? Your playing days ended. What am I saying?
I came out to coach the Rangers during training camp, but after a while, I had trouble remembering which player was which.
Yeah.
Slug lets me bartend instead of recommending me for early retirement, for which I'm most grateful. I'd hate lying around like a deadbeat.
Sounds like you enjoyed your careers. Don't see a lot of that in Halcyon.
Absolutely. I know things can get rough, but I've had a more decent life than I've had any right to. Thanks for reliving the old days with me. Anyhow, I think I've talked plenty now. Is there something I can get you?
Anything interesting happening around here?
Nah. No, but some folks have been saying there was some kind of fight between a mechanical and some spacers last night. I didn't see it myself, and seems far-fetched. Deputy Wine Taster ain't exactly prone to wandering, nor are most other mechanicals that I'm aware of. There's a new Void Dan burn on my nice clean floor, but I think it's the doing of one of my customers.
Huh. Alright, well, let's see on tap. You got nothing I want, man. Nothing. Damn. Alright, let's speak to Birdie with his weird hat.
What do you want?
You're Black Hole Birdie, right?
Not so loud.
Your name is
No, it was
literally
me.
out for everyone. Should I not have?
That's what the disguise is for.
You're literally just wearing a
I'm
hat.
in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto.
Incognito.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato.
No.
Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. She's gone and nothing I do will bring her back. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever.
I can tell.
Being bright was always Helen's thing.
And maybe I can help. I was hired to solve Helen's murder.
Oh, so you're the inspector. Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find Helen's killer. So, how do I help?
What were you doing the night Helen died?
I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers.
What?
You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
Drunk is the medical term.
I mean, the
team
normal
noticed I
term.
was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air.
Where'd you go?
We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow. There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her.
So the woolly cow on the VIP floor was your doing.
Oh, wow. That's real clever of you to figure out.
You literally just
Helen would've
admitted to
liked
it.
You, I'd wager. Say, is the cow okay?
You got a woolly cow drunk. Woolly cows are not supposed to get drunk.
It was wrong of us. I hope she doesn't have a hangover or nothing.
She could die,
My
but
memory's
sure.
a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time.
Did anyone from the pilot house back that up?
I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her data pad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief.
And did you find it? Huh. I'll go with the second one. That sounds actually more pertinent. The third one is also kind of good question, but it sounds a bit rude, so I'm gonna go with the second one. Huh? Why do you think she would get it? She couldn't get it herself.
I don't know. I didn't ask. On account of she asked me in a note sent to my hotel room. Paper usually ain't too chatty. That's a joke.
Yes. It's funny. I'll politely ignore him.
I found the data pad at the weather station, like Helen said, but then a guard found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was.
You sure this guard couldn't ID you?
Real sure. It was dark as night gets. Plus, I've got small veins.
What does that got to do with anything?
I didn't much feel like trying to explain why I was out there, or why I was drunk, and holding someone else's data pad, and also maybe crying a little. So I booked it. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone.
Did anyone else see you that night? Think hard. Anyone? Anywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, no. Nope. No one else.
Bertie, come on, man. Who was it?
I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble.
Not having a witness puts you in much bigger trouble.
Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down.
Your bookie, murderous confidant, secret paramour with whom you're having a torrid affair?
Confidant is like confidence. What's torrid mean?
Who's Auric, Bertie?
Don't get the wrong idea, okay? Auric's not a bad guy. He's just got an unusual job.
He's a smuggler, isn't he?
So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Auric, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and a hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again.
Geez, you had a bad time lately, huh, Bertie?
Yeah.
Can I have a look at Helen's data pad?
Oh, yeah, you'll probably want to... Yeah, of course. Of course. Helen sure did have the prettiest handwriting.
I'm sorry about Helen, Bertie.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Sorry. Here you go, Inspector. Hopefully they make more sense to you. I couldn't make heads or tails of them. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers.
Yes.
I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing.
What kind of thing is a bag of hammers? Thanks, I'll take a look at them.
Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it'd be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble.
Sorry, Bertie, it's better if you're not involved.
I get it. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else?
Yes, I do, actually. I have a few more questions.
What do you want to know?
Why'd you have to mascot pull that little stunt over the recording in Helen's room?
I remember sending her the recording, but... Law, I was halfway to Preserve by then. I don't know what was on it. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. If I'd said something dumb, folks might think I was involved in her death. I was scared of looking suspicious.
found the recording. There's nothing incriminating on it.
You listened to it? What'd I say to Helen? Did I sound drunk?
Yes. You mainly said you loved her.
Thank the architect. I hope she heard it. I don't want the last time she heard my voice to be when I was all angry at the orchards.
What's it like being a famous tossball player?
Tossball was, is, and always will be the greatest game in the universe. And I would give it up in a heartbeat to have Helen back.
About Helen?
What about...
Anything new? Yeah, okay, so there is new stuff. What was your relationship with her like?
Look, you and me, we both know I'm a big, dumb tossball star, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm good at. Rizzo's knows it. The fans know it. Helen, she saw me as more than that. She saw someone who had more to offer than big muscles and a signature black hole stomp. Being with Helen was magic. She was magic. There ain't good enough words for something as special as what we had together.
She was a magic woman. Why did you break up?
I wish I knew. Must have been something I did. At the picnic, Helen just kept saying she didn't want to drag me into her world. Maybe one of the higher-ups in motion pictures was giving her trouble over us? I don't know. I tried to understand, but I don't.
Did she have any enemies?
Rival actresses, maybe? I don't know too much about the motion picture industry. Except for Helen's pictures, obviously. Those I probably know by heart. Seen them about 100 times each.
Man, I wish I could ask a question of if she was a natural blonde or not. It doesn't let me do that. I can think of that to ask, but it doesn't let me ask that. God.
What do you want to know?
About Auric West.
Yeah?
What's his deal?
Auric's a businessman. He sells stuff you can't get elsewhere. You know, alternative stuff.
I was right. He's a smuggler.
Sort of science, crockery, whole supplements.
What the hell's a whole supplement? Do you mean holistic supplements?
Probably. I can never remember. I just know I trust Auric more than I do any sawbones. Maybe putting effort accelerators in your body isn't always the right call, you know? Maybe there are other options. Maybe I don't take all the accelerators Rizzo's pushes on me.
Maybe I should just forget the last one so you don't get in trouble with Rizzo's.
Oh, yeah. I'd appreciate that. Yeah?
Where can I find him?
Auric hangs around the spaceport most days.
Where?
Since he's not here at the bar, he's most likely over by the buy-a-bunks at the shipping yard.
Thank you. That's enough. Goodbye. Oh, I leveled up. God, every time that makes me freaking jump. I hate it. Man, I was only shy of like 20 points. There you go, 140. Just need 10 more and then we're good. So we need to confirm Bertie's alibi. And he is over there. But I can go check that in a minute. I want to go up here first because there was another building on the left. Or right in this case that I wanted to check out. The Harbour Master office.
I don't know what to make of Sublight Underground. Or Slug, I guess. I can't shake the feeling they had something to do with Ms. Helen's death.
I get the feeling that everyone here had something to do with Helen's death.
You got an appointment?
Why are you so aggressive? I literally just walked through the door.
Appointment?
Hello, I need to speak to Cedric.
Yeah, that's why you're here. Appointment?
Can I make an appointment for right now?
Not entirely out of the question. Convince me.
I could put in a good word with Cedric about his incredibly helpful secretary.
Wouldn't mind a new bolter pistol. I've fired mine so many times the tips nearly fell off. Let's give Mr. Kincannon a ring. Mr. Kincannon, got a person of interest here to see you. Think they've got business.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send her up.
I'm busy.
Wow, okay.
We're the
Nice
future of
helmet.
Sublight. Just you wait and see.
Doesn't say it's not a bad thing.
Guns ready.
What do you think you're doing?
I was just leaving.
Yeah. All right. I guess you're on the level.
It usually says if I can't go in here, it's red, but it's not. Oh, but I don't want to lose reputation because of that. God. Because usually, if it's a bad thing to do, or if it's going to be something that, you know, is not lawful or something, it's circled in a red highlight. But this is not circled in a red highlight. Nice office.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A cursory fingerprint analysis shows this display case was recently opened or closed.
Oh, the gun on the bottom looks special. Has it been customized?
Confirmed. The grip has been modified for a specific wielder, most likely the rifle's owner. Additionally, the plasma rifle sights appear to have been realigned to better accommodate a shooter with slight myopia in one eye.
Analyze the fingerprints further.
The fingerprints belong to Cedric Kincannon.
It's almost as though it's his gun case. As I expected. Not that someone couldn't have accessed the cabinet using gloves, you consider, but the simplest solution is often the right one.
Oh, admiring my rifle. Had it custom fitted by a woman on Monarch.
Interesting. But yes, hello, Cedric. Oh, hello. Halcyon Helen commits regicide. Chapter 3. Some hours had passed since Helen's entry into the dissident hideout. She had fought no small number of slug men, destroying the abominations in singular fashion, and had met several employees from many corporations, each forcibly taken by the dissidents for use as test subjects. One such freed captive, who called himself Hephaestus Harry, had accompanied her as she descended into the lair of the dissident queen. Helen had exchanged only a few words with him and now would be able to exchange no others, as the man now lay in a bloody heap at the foot of the dissident queen, who, Helen now saw, was not a person but a tremendous mutant slug. The dissidents who had apparently been guarding her were themselves quite dead and lay in various stages of mastication through the room. The queen feasted on Harry's remains, but as Helen stepped forward, the monster wriggled around to face her. A true queen for a gang of parasites, Helen shouted. The dissident queen reared back, opening its mandibles wide, and gave an inhuman shriek that shook the very foundations of the base.
Why, if it isn't the inspector.
We actually get to meet face to face finally.
Swing by. Here for my alibi, I assume.
Later. First, I want an explanation of that nonsense outside.
Another murder? Drunk raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just keep guessing.
I had a run-in with some slug agents.
Sounds as though you've already sorted it out yourself.
How did thugs get their hands on slug gear?
Slug uniforms do seem to go missing from the hotel laundry with impressive regularity. Easy enough for someone to nick a few. Now ask yourself this. Why would anyone give thugs slug gear and send them after you?
Somebody's out there is trying to smear your good name, or whoever's behind this wants to put me against Slug. They're both pretty much the same, just different ways of going about it. I'll go with the first one.
Right again, Inspector. But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you?
Presumably Ludovico more than anyone, given your work relationship.
You said it, not me. So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that settled, I assume you'll want to know where I was the night of Helen's murder?
Sure. Let's hear it.
Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine?
And when you say break...
His spine, specifically.
Uh-huh.
If you'd like to know the exact vertebrae, I'm afraid I don't know. I can tell you
It's
he's
C4.
quite dead. Not that it matters much. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people.
Yes, I know. Everyone apparently here lies. So your alibi is that you were busy murdering someone else.
Which, as I said, you should not trust. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune.
So Helen's death is a net loss for Slug.
I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work, but I have a mystery of my own to solve, I'm afraid.
Look, I'm sorry that someone got murdered, but I've got more important things to worry about, like my business failing or something. Anything I should look into? Or I take it... Okay, I take it the guy you tortured wasn't the source of your missing cargo then.
Oh, Elliot stole from me, all right. Alas, you're right in that his was a singular isolated incident, and as such, does not resolve a concerning broader trend. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter.
What's the connection to Helen's murder?
I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it.
I guess I can't guarantee the theft isn't related to the murder.
I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads. Me, scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator.
I'd like to say this once. Whoever's behind this is going to jail, not to you.
You do recall, Inspector, that I'm not to be trusted? But certainly, whatever you say. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on my account.
Before I get started...
Was there something else you wanted to discuss?
The constable is dead.
Constable Keene? Now that is a damn shame. Am I right to think this wasn't a workplace accident?
This was a murder, all right.
It seems murder is becoming an unsettling trend on Eridanos as of late. Thank you for informing me of Constable Keene's passing. When you find her killer, please be certain to make them suffer.
You're actually upset about this.
We may have been on opposite sides of the law on occasion, but we were not enemies. Perhaps it will shock you to hear her loss saddens me. Maria was a decent soul, and law knows those are in short supply around here. A little square, perhaps, in her dedication to the rules, but good nonetheless. I'm also saddened to have lost an occasional drinking buddy. She was quite good at cards, you know.
I'm sorry, Constable Keene, she didn't deserve this.
No, she didn't. But let's discuss something else. Do you have other matters requiring my attention?
Why does Ludovico hate you so much anyway?
The original incident? Well, I made him an offer he should have refused.
That's assuming he could refuse it.
Intimidation has its role in diplomacy. Still, his choice to work with Sublight was indeed a choice. Our combative relationship stems from paperwork, mundanely enough. Rizzo's contracted Sublight to construct the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added.
That can't be it, can it?
My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been, has made sure to water it daily with his bitterness and anger.
Nurturing a grudge is an ugly thing. You should make peace with him.
Alas, I can't. I am, first and foremost, the head of Slug, and it simply wouldn't be good for business. Slug's control of Eridanos is a crucial step in my long-term plans for Sublight. The board needs to see irrefutable proof we are a respectable, legitimate business.
By being illegitimate, right. Why do you care so much about what the board thinks?
Because one day soon, Sublight will obtain a seat on it. Meanwhile, our dear administrator is still laser-focused on old slights, which can be a nuisance. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities.
Uh-huh. But you admitted to me earlier that you tortured a man for information. Which of course you are. I'll go with the first one.
I wish I could wink, but it always looks like I have something caught in my eye.
More questions about Helen.
Very well.
Do you have many dealings with her?
A few. Helen was strangely curious about the private business operations around Eridanos. She said it was role research, but how much business know-how does one actor truly need for an action picture? I also arranged to have Helen supplied with mag picks, bypass shunts, and other hacking tools. She wanted to buy in bulk.
Weird. That didn't strike you as suspicious?
That she bought in bulk? Not particularly. It takes time to learn to use tools like that deftly. I wonder, did she run out of time in the end?
If you didn't kill her, any idea who would want her dead?
That is the question, isn't it, Inspector? Tell me, do you really believe Helen's death was a mere crime of passion? Or one of petty career jealousy?
I'm not willing to rule out anything yet.
A smart approach, Inspector. And yet, this murder is bigger than Miss Helen's personal life. Bigger than her latest moving picture.
You said she had a powerful enemy. Or you think.
Indeed. I suspect Helen arrived on Eridanos with grander plans than promoting Spectrum Brown. I knew I was right about you being clever, Inspector. I'm glad. Because whoever did kill Helen is not going to come forward so easily.
You know more than you're telling me.
I might. I just might. Your point, Inspector?
What does he mean by I've already made it? Already made what? I'll go with the first one.
Yes, I suppose you have. Be very careful, Inspector. I'd very much like to see you still around for the grand finale, whenever it comes, whatever shape it takes.
That's all for now.
One moment, if you please, Inspector. I've answered your questions. I believe it's my turn to ask you a question now. What, or who, made you decide to investigate me?
Well, I mean, Ludovico didn't really say go and check out Ken Cannon as far as I can remember. I actually really only came here for Black Bertie, but I guess it would also make sense to investigate you because you're also a major player. So yeah, I guess the third one then. It only makes sense.
Understandable. A man of my standing would naturally be tied up in all this, whether he wishes to be or not. Now then, did you need anything else?
Nah, that was it. Time for some investigation.
Timeline discrepancy detected. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy.
Oh,
the missing
no.
pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside.
Short-range transmission capabilities. The receiver must be somewhere nearby.
You figured that out just by looking at it? Huh. We ought to talk shop one of these days.
I'm a genius, Pavarti.
Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location.
Speaking to the bug. Moo.
Poor woolly cow impression transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a smaller, approximate range.
How long has this been here?
Analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles present on the book's uppermost surface.
At minimum, an hour. At maximum, a day. Or at least, it could be a day. Examine surrounding area.
The area within a 0.5 meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles.
Wild guess, the bug was planted roughly a week before Helen's death.
That is highly likely, Inspector.
Include examination.
What's that you found? No, wait, don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
Yes. And then I'll be like, aha, but then I found this in your room. Why is there a dining tray in the bathroom? What is that noise? Guess that's it for this area. Eee. Oh hey, you're the guys that ran away from me.
I don't get paid enough for this. We're not gonna trouble you again. I swear. Ignore us. Ignore us.
I don't get paid enough for this.
All right. So we have several things in this location. That is the exit. We need to talk to Auric. We need to talk to the two rogues, Lord of Blight. We need to go on here for also the Lord of Blight and some other things. How long have we been going for stream? 2 hours. I am going to save because it's been a while. And do I want to continue? It's getting kind of late actually, so I might actually end there for today. We've done the 2 hours, which is good enough for me. We can pick this up on Friday, get this area sorted out, and then do some more investigation. But I think we're making some headway in this case. Soon we shall catch the perpetrator and put them behind bars. And they will never hurt anyone ever again, or whatever. I don't know. Something will happen. But yep, we shall stop there for today. We'll pick this up on Friday. Tomorrow we're back with more Spider-Man, so look forward to that if you want to watch. And if you want to know our next stream, as usual, like, follow, subscribe, do that bell notification, all that jazz. And if you want to help support me, there's links to Patreon or tips you want to help through there. But until next time, thank you all for joining. Thanks for joining, Swordmaster. Hope everyone enjoyed. I feel like I did a lot of pep for this one. So, yeah. Until next time, y'all take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow around about the same time.